We have a society that is turning its back on God at a rapid rate. From what used to be known as God's own country to one now that is secular.
We're in a situation today where New Zealand has very, very little moral fibre.
The whole abortion thing, legalised prostitution.
The church in New Zealand is basically completely written off as irrelevant.
The whole marriage and gender issue, it's just huge.
The church is a laughing stock in New Zealand, really.
A society that is rampant in materialism.
We've had a massive influx of migrants from Middle East, from China and Asia and India, and that's changed the whole character of the spiritual state in New Zealand.
So the need for the gospel, the need for gospel ministry is just enormous.
Our story as Grace Presbyterian Church is really seeing God provide enormously where we don't have any resources. Right from the beginning, we kind of stepped out in faith without a lot of financial resources, a lot of people resources, and really the answer to prayer came through Briarwood and through Tom Cheeley.
So Grace denomination began in 2003 with about 7 main churches, and from there God has enabled us to plant about 12 churches. So we're in the range of 20 to 22 congregations.
The church that I am involved with was supported initially by Briarwood. I'm thankful for that because I came out of a church situation of my own, very hurt, really struggling and embittered about it actually. And to be able to go to Grace Church in Invercargill where there wasn't just sound doctrine, but there was love, it was such a wonderful blessing.
Our new community has got the migrants coming. We said, well, how are we going to reach them? We reach them through the preschool ministry because they love coming to a Christian preschool because we show love and compassion and we care for the children and we teach them Bible stories and Bible songs. So in our preschool, we have got probably 15 nationalities. We even have some Muslims that come in because they love the love that Christians show. So really the world is coming to us. We have an opportunity to bring the gospel through into them.
A fifth of the city is made up of students that have come from all around the world and all around the country to come to study here, which is a great opportunity. They've got 3 or 4 years here. They can have, in the life of the church, some become Christians and then they'll transition and move to other parts of the world and other parts of our country.
I came to Dunedin in 2009 to study PE. Dunedin has the best PE school and the best party culture in all of New Zealand, and so that was my twofold reason for coming. I didn't grow up in a Christian home, but everybody that I became friends with, they were all Christians, which is very rare, and the way that they lived was really interesting to me and really challenging. And I started going to Grace and the student ministry things there, and God really used those times in my life because I had no understanding of God or who Jesus is. It was just amazing to me to learn how to actually study the Bible and to apply it.
When we started Rotorua, it was just my wife and I. We didn't have a family to go. We didn't have a church planting group of families. We had the blessing of presbytery and we just thought, we got to get going. So we just moved to Rotorua. I think it's a marvellous work of the Lord because Grace Presbyterian Churches is just a little sparrow that lives at his altar. But it shows you the heart of Briarwood. The heart of Briarwood is to make Christ known. At the heart of Briarwood is to use their resources for the gospel, not just in Birmingham, but to come all the way down here to New Zealand and Australia and say, we're with you.
Our original vision is to have a Grace Presbyterian Church proclaiming a Christ-centred gospel that is within reach of every New Zealander through a 30-minute drive by car. That's our dream. And so that's nearly every city, every small town in this country to reach nearly 5 million people.
Our hope, our desire, I think our prayer for the campus here is that God would be multiplying a movement of Christ-centred labourers here for the lost world. And it's our joy as an arm of the Grace churches to be raising up labourers and sending them out to be labourers in those churches throughout New Zealand.
Well, I would like political policy to be changed for Christian values because I think that's beneficial for our country. But I want people's hearts to be changed. So whether we're 2, 3, 5% of the population or 50% of the population, we have to still bring the gospel message that Jesus Christ saves sinners, and that's the way lives are transformed.
It is one-on-one, working slowly but surely with people, and and seeing one heart changed at a time.
What excites me is not the right now, but the thinking and dreaming about where the students are going to be in 10 years' time or 20 years' time. It's one person changed for God, but it's more than that. It's a generation that's really been affected.
It's a reminder to me of what the culture was when the gospel first came into the Roman Empire. And I think of that great verse where Paul says, I'm not ashamed of the gospel because it is the power of God unto salvation. And so we have the opportunity to see that power at work again in this culture.